Hi everyone, this is Mark Runyon over at Raleigh Web. I want to welcome you to our first installment of our new video series. At Raleigh Web, we're a bunch of plugged-in tech guys with a passion for marketing. Our videos will cover everything in the space of web development and internet marketing. If you like what you see, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay plugged in to all of our upcoming videos. I've been managing websites for over 15 years now. I started back in the day building ASP and Perl sites. I even cut my teeth on ASP.NET when I was in beta. Most of my development these days is done in PHP. Regardless of what language you use, the one constant is always web hosting. For the non-techies out there, web hosting is basically where your website resides on the internet. If your domain name is the address, the web host is the piece of land that your website sits on. The web host is basically a souped-up version of that desktop computer sitting in your home office. Finding the right web host can be a daunting task. I've cycled through many web hosts over the years. I've been with some rock solid companies, and I've been with some really crappy ones. Separating one from the other can be a tough task, especially if you haven't experienced their services firsthand. Part of our web service series will devote time to discussing web hosting companies that we've worked with in the past. We'll tell you what we liked, and tell you what drove us nuts. It's only fair that you know what you're getting yourself into. You don't want to take the time and effort to set up and roll out 5 websites once you discover they've forgotten they have a support mailbox, or that they are pathologically opposed to running backups. Today, we're going to focus on Veerotech. Veerotech is a smaller web host based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. But don't let the small turn you off, though. If you're with one of the big guys like Godaddy, you can get lost in the shuffle. You're just a number to them, and they don't care if you leave. That marketing engine will have 10 new customers to fill the vacuum within the hour. Smaller shops are usually more hungry for the business, so that typically translates into greater retention and better support. Veerotech came on our radar about 6 months ago. We were building a lot of websites for clients, but basically feeding them to the wolves when it came to finding website hosting, since this wasn't a service that we provided. Thankfully, we saw the error of our ways and started the process of finding a solid web host partner to run our client websites. As I said, we're web developers and internet marketers. We don't have the time to deal with client sites being offline or dealing with technical headaches. Finding a reliable host was paramount to our collective sanity. We cast a wide net in our search for a reseller host. Since we spent probably more time on Reddit than we probably should, it was a given we'd mine the collective minds of the hosting subreddit for advice. The owners of Veerotech were very active in the community and provided lots of helpful advice without plugging their services. That is in line with how we approach our business, so they made our short list of reseller hosting candidates. Once we got a half a dozen potential hosts, we Googled company reviews, looked for opinions on Web Host Talk, and generally didn't leave any stone unturned in our search. I mean, we're hitching our brand's wagon to these guys. If their service was awful, we risked losing clients that we'd worked very hard to find and build relationships with. Veerotech kept checking off all those boxes that we were looking for. I drew up around 15 to 20 questions and reached out to the owner, Brent, on Reddit. These weren't softball questions. There were a few I fully expected he couldn't support. I've learned to never trust someone who offers to give you the moon. A good, honest assessment goes a long way. He took the time to give me a detailed response to each question, and we decided to give them a go. So what services do they offer? Their platforms are running off Lightspeed web servers, Cloud Linux. So the Microsoft ASP crowd out there needs to look elsewhere. They perform daily R1 soft backups, so you can rest easy knowing that your data is secured. But always just a word of caution. I'd never take a host's word for it that they're backing up your data. This is something you need to be doing yourself. When it comes to a data failure, having too many backups is a great problem to have. I've been in the other camp, and it's a soul-wrenching experience. Don't do that. Veerotech's management console is cPanel, which is the industry standard. cPanel makes it easy to set up backups, create email accounts, attach add-on domains, and really do most of the day-to-day back-end functions that you'll need to manage your website. They also include Softalicious, which makes installing platforms like WordPress and Joomla an absolute breeze. They have nice features like denial service attack protections and SSH access. Your account is ready to go from the moment you sign up, and the good folks at Veerotech will even migrate your website over from your old unreliable host if it's needed. It's a pretty nice service. As far as their bargain basement account on the shared hosting side, comes equipped with 15 gig of storage and under-metered bandwidth with 10 add-on domains included. Personally speaking, I'd rather them have unmetered add-on domains like a lot of hosts have, but you could double your cost and bump up the mid-range plan if that feature was important to you. As I mentioned, they do offer reseller hosting and fully managed and self-managed virtual servers. They have the same great features as the shared plans, including free billing software for the reseller crowd. You can fully configure these servers under the VPS plans, so you can bump them up until your little heart's content. So, what's the cost of this? And looking at their shared hosting plans, they're basically running in line with the other hosts. If you pay for a year up front, the lowest price plan works out to about $5.40 a month, or $64 or $70 for the year. If you go for the monthly route, it jacks up to $8.99 a month. So obviously they want to make it worth your while to commit. The VPS plans start out at $59 a month for the fully managed server and drop to $19 a month for the do-it-yourselfers out there. The reseller hosting plans start out at $16 a month. So, how is the support? This is obviously a very important part of dealing with any host, and we've been very impressed with Veerotech support. We've opened 4 tickets on our time with them, and the response times on each ticket were 2 minutes, 19 minutes, 5 minutes, 16 minutes, and that last was even on a holiday weekend, so that was nice. All the responses had our issues resolved right away. Granted, we didn't have a hard drive crash or anything that monumental, but nothing's worse than stewing over a problem while your ticket just sits around unattended. My biggest gripe on the support side is just not having a chat module. We have accounts with many different web hosts, probably about a half a dozen, and chat support is fairly standard these days. Even though you may be plugging into a virtual call center in Bangalore, let's say, there's still something about that instant satisfaction and being able to carry on a conversation in real time that personally I find really appealing. Realistically, it's not a large issue, but more of a minor annoyance. As far as uptime goes, Veerotech advertises the industry average of 99.9 uptime. Our own internal metrics support that claim and then some. We have an in-house routine that pings our sites every 5 minutes to monitor uptime. In the past month, we found a 5-minute block where the site was unresponsive. That would have given them a 99.95% uptime for the month. While this may not be indicative of a typical month, we haven't experienced any prolonged downtime on Veerotech since signing on with them about 6 months ago. So overall, we've been very happy with the service we've received at Veerotech. It's easy to add and manage accounts. Support has been very responsive, as I mentioned, and best of all, we haven't had to worry about anything. Clients aren't calling us because their websites are down. The web host companies that do their job right make sure that you never think about them. The bad ones, you aren't able to do anything but. But thanks for checking out this video today. If you found it helpful, please consider using our affiliate link below to sign up for hosting with Veerotech. It doesn't cost you an extra penny. In fact, you may be able to save a few of those Mr. Lincolns. Check for a current discount code below the video. I've seen them running 50% off for your first month and even 30% off your bill for as long as you have an account with them. We'll keep these offers updated monthly. Thanks for checking our channel out. We love feedback, so please leave comments below and take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Our next video is already in the works, so get notified when it hits. And always, if we can ever help you out with any of your website or digital marketing needs, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at vandalayweb.com.